Hello, and welcome to Real English Conversations. I'm Emma.
And I'm Daniel.
If you're learning English and you need to navigate important conversations, especially as a parent, you're in the right place.
Today's episode is really special because we're talking about something that affects so many families.
We focus on real conversations, not textbook English.
We talk about what people actually say and what they really mean in everyday life.
And today we're covering a situation that can feel incredibly overwhelming.
The IEP meeting.
That stands for Individualized Education Program.
And if you have a child with special needs, learning differences, or who needs extra support at school, you've probably heard this term.
These meetings are where you work with teachers and school staff to create a plan for your child.
And if English isn't your first language, walking into that room can feel intimidating.
But you have every right to be there, and you have every right to advocate for your child.
Before we dive in, if you enjoy this episode, please subscribe to the channel and give the video a like.
It really helps more English learners find us, and we're so grateful for this community.
All right, let's help you prepare for this important conversation.
Why IEP meetings feel overwhelming. So let's start by acknowledging why these meetings can be so stressful.
First, you're talking about your child. The stakes feel incredibly high.
Right? This isn't a casual conversation. You're advocating for your child's education and future.
Second, you're often sitting across from multiple professionals.
Teachers, special education coordinators, school psychologists, administrators.
And they're all using education jargon and technical terms.
Terms like accommodations, modifications, present levels, goals and objectives.
If you're not familiar with these terms in English, it feels like they're speaking a different language.
And third, as a parent whose first language isn't English, you might worry that you won't be taken seriously.
Or that you won't understand everything being said.
These fears are valid, but here's what we want you to know.
You are your child's best advocate. You know your child better than anyone in that room.
And you have legal rights in these meetings.
The school is required to provide you with an interpreter if you need one.
You have the right to ask questions, to disagree, and to request changes to the plan.
So let's give you the language to do exactly that.
Understanding key terms. Before we get into the scripts, let's quickly cover some key terms you'll hear.
Because knowing what these mean will help you follow the conversation.
First, IEP, Individualized Education Program. This is the written plan for your child.
Accommodations. These are changes to how your child learns, but not what they learn.
For example, extra time on tests or sitting at the front of the classroom.
Modifications. These are changes to what your child is expected to learn.
Like a simplified version of an assignment.
Present levels. This is where the team describes how your child is doing right now.
Their strengths and challenges.
Goals. These are specific things your child will work toward during the year.
They should be measurable and realistic.
Related services. This includes things like speech therapy, occupational therapy, or counseling.
Okay, now that we have the vocabulary, let's talk about the meeting itself. Part 1. Starting the meeting. Strong. The beginning of the meeting sets the tone.
You want to show that you're engaged, informed, and ready to be a partner in this process.
Here's how you can start.
When you introduce yourself, you can say, "Thank you all for being here. I'm your name. Child's names mother, father, parent."
Simple, confident.
Then you can add, "I'm looking forward to working together to support my child."
This shows you're collaborative, not confrontational.
If English isn't your first language and you want to acknowledge that up front, you can say,
English is my second language, so please let me know if I can clarify anything. And I may ask you to repeat things to make sure I understand.
"This is not apologizing. This is setting expectations."
It tells them to slow down and be clear.
And it shows you're paying attention.
Part 2. Asking questions. Asking questions is your most powerful tool in these meetings.
It shows you're engaged, and it forces the team to explain things clearly.
If you don't understand something, never pretend you do.
You can say, "Can you explain what that means?"
Or, I'm not familiar with that term. Can you help me understand?
"Can you give me an example of what that looks like in the classroom?"
These are all perfectly acceptable questions.
If they're talking about your child's challenges, you can ask,
What specific behaviors are you seeing?
"How often does this happen?"
What strategies have you tried so far?
These questions help you understand the full picture.
And if they're discussing goals, you can ask,
How will we measure progress on this goal?
what does success look like?
What support will be provided to help my child reach this goal?
You're not being difficult. You're being thorough. Part 3. Sharing your observations. Remember, you see your child in ways the school doesn't.
You need to share what you're seeing at home.
This gives the team important context.
Here's how you can do that.
You can say, at home, I've noticed that.
When we work on homework, my child struggles with,
I've seen improvement in,
for example, at home, I've noticed that my child has trouble focusing after about 20 minutes. Does the teacher see that in class too?
or, when we read together, my child does better when I give them extra time to process. Could that help at school?
You're providing valuable information.
And you're connecting what happens at home with what might help at school. Part 4. Advocating for specific needs. Now let's talk about how to advocate for what your child needs.
This is where you might feel nervous, but remember, you have the right to ask for what your child needs.
If you think your child needs something that hasn't been mentioned, you can say,
I'd like to discuss adding specific support to the plan.
I'm concerned that my child needs more support with specific area. Can we talk about that?
I've read about accommodations service, and I think it could help my child. Is that something we can include?
Notice that these are calm and specific.
If the team says no to something, you can push back respectfully.
Can you help me understand why that wouldn't be appropriate for my child?
What would need to happen for that to be included?
Is there a trial period where we could try this and see if it helps?
You're not accepting the first no. You're asking them to explain their reasoning.
And sometimes they don't have a good reason, and they'll reconsider. Part 5. When you disagree. Sometimes you'll disagree with what the team is proposing.
That's okay. Disagreement doesn't mean confrontation.
Here's how to express disagreement professionally.
I appreciate your perspective, but I have some concerns about this approach.
I'm not comfortable with this plan as written. Can we discuss some modifications?
I understand what you're saying, but I don't think this addresses my child's main challenge.
These phrases show that you're listening, but you're not agreeing.
You can also say, I'd like to think about this and get back to you.
You don't have to sign the IEP at the meeting.
You can take it home, review it, and schedule another meeting if needed.
Just say, I'd like to review this document before signing. When can we schedule a follow-up?
That's completely within your rights.
Part 6. Taking notes and documenting. Here's something really important that often gets overlooked.
Take notes during the meeting.
Write down what's being said, what's being promised, and any concerns you raise.
You can say at the beginning, I'm going to take some notes during our meeting so I can remember everything we discuss.
This is professional and smart.
If something is promised but not written in the IEP, you can say,
Can we add that to the written plan?
I want to make sure this is documented.
Because if it's not in writing, it's harder to hold the school accountable.
After the meeting, you can send a follow-up email.
Thank you for meeting with me today. Just to confirm, we agreed on list the main points. Please let me know if I missed anything.
This creates a paper trail.
And it shows you're organized and serious about your child's education. Phrases for different situations. Let's run through some specific situations and what you can say.
Situation 1. The team is rushing through the meeting.
You can say, I'd like to slow down and make sure I understand this section.
Or, this is a lot of information. Can we take a moment to review what we've covered?
Don't let them rush you.
Situation 2. They're using too much jargon.
Can you explain that in simpler terms?
I want to make sure I understand this correctly. Can you rephrase that?
Situation 3. You feel like you're not being heard.
I don't feel like my concerns are being addressed. Can we revisit that topic?
I need to make sure we're on the same page about my child's needs.
Be direct but respectful.
Situation 4. The school is saying they don't have resources.
I understand resources are limited, but my child is entitled to appropriate support. What are our options?
What can we do to make this work within the school's capabilities?
You're acknowledging their constraint while still advocating.
What not to do? Let's talk about some common mistakes to avoid.
Mistake number 1. Not preparing before the meeting.
Review your child's current IEP if they have one.
Write down your concerns and questions beforehand.
Know what you want to ask for.
Mistake number 2. Being aggressive or emotional.
Look, we totally understand that emotions run high when it comes to your child.
But staying calm and professional will get you further.
If you feel yourself getting upset, it's okay to say, I need a moment, or can we take a short break?
Mistake number 3. Not bringing support.
You can bring someone with you to the meeting.
A friend, a family member, an advocate.
They can take notes, ask questions, and support you.
Just let the school know in advance. I'll be bringing someone to help me take notes and understand the meeting.
Mistake number 4. Signing something you don't understand or agree with.
Never feel pressured to sign at the meeting.
Take the document home. Review it. Ask questions. Building confidence over time. Here's something we want you to remember.
The first IEP meeting is always the hardest,
You're learning a new system, new vocabulary, new processes.
but it gets easier,
You'll start to recognize the patterns, you'll know what questions to ask.
and you'll realize that you have more power in these meetings than you thought.
You're not asking for favors. You're ensuring your child gets what they're legally entitled to.
And that's something to be proud of.
Your English doesn't have to be perfect,
What matters is that you're showing up for your child.
that you're asking questions, taking notes, and making sure your voice is heard.
That's what advocacy looks like.
Final thoughts. Let's recap the key strategies.
Start strong by introducing yourself confidently and setting expectations.
Ask questions whenever you don't understand something.
Share your observations about your child.
Advocate clearly for specific needs.
Express disagreement respectfully when necessary.
Document everything and follow up in writing.
Remember, you are your child's best advocate.
The school professionals have expertise, but you have something they don't.
You know your child,
You see their struggles, their strengths, their potential.
and that knowledge is powerful.
Now it's your turn.
In the comments, we'd love to hear from you.
Have you been to an IEP meeting? What was your experience?
Or if you have one coming up, what are you most nervous about?
And your experiences help other parents feel less alone.
Thank you so much for listening to Real English Conversations.
We'll be back soon with another real-life topic to help you navigate important conversations in English.
Until then, keep practicing.
And remember, real conversations don't have to be perfect.
They just have to come from the heart.
Goodbye for now.
See you next time.